Hi guys, Cody and Broden here for episode 10 of Flow State today. Oh God, what did we cover today?
Mate, this is the alien special, it's alien madness.
It's just alien after alien after fucking
We're
alien.
talking childhood trauma. We're talking pizza. We're talking real, actual video footage that I've taken myself of my own UFO experience.
You can watch that in this episode.
And it is not a piss take. It is real. It's real alien UFO footage.
I can't explain it.
I can't explain it. It's unidentified.
Can you explain it?
I'd love you to please explain it to me because we have no fucking idea what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
10th episode, guys. Better share it. You better like it. You better go on.
Enjoy.
Spotify, Whooshka, YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, and all other places you can find a podcast for episode 10, Broden and Cody Flow State, Broden and Cody Alien State.
Get it up, ya. Belt it up your ass.
Aliens.
Yeah.
It's episode 10. Congratulations, it's episode 10. Woo!
Yes. Well done. Congrats.
Aliens. I've seen them.
Have you?
Probably not. But today's a very special episode. We're going to be talking about aliens a lot.
What else is it's every week?
Exactly. There's so many great things to talk about aliens.
Yeah.
Do they
Space
exist?
aliens.
Most probably. Have they visited Earth? No.
No.
Yeah. Surprising. I would think that they had.
Yeah.
I don't think they have. They haven't been here.
I think they've been here.
Yeah, when?
Pyramids.
You can build pyramids.
You can't.
You can build them.
You can't build them.
How come?
Just geographically.
Somebody bloody build them.
Yeah, aliens, space aliens.
I got a strange feeling they might be a little bit older than they think by probably about a fuckload of tens of thousands of years. Yeah, I reckon they're a lot older than they say they are.
Why?
Well, they're pretty old.
They're dusty. They got cobwebs on them.
I don't know, man. That's a good one. But I don't know if the pyramids has anything to do with aliens. I think we don't give people in history enough credit. I don't think people in history were as dumb as we give them.
Fucking idiots.
As we say they are bloody dumb bastards. They didn't even drive cars. They didn't even know how to program phones.
That's right.
But I don't know. I don't think
supermarket, did they?
People in history, they were just like you and me. There could have been a couple of guys like you and me having a laugh, not taking everything seriously and digging holes and being enslaved and stuff like that. There's probably a couple of guys like you and me just having a giggle, entertaining the town. You know what I mean? It's probably not as different as it is now socially, but the technology was different. So they weren't wearing hats inside. They weren't sitting inside. Probably maybe they were sitting outside. But I think things were very different. Even Egypt like to say to tourists that there were no slaves involved in the building of the pyramids. They say they were all paid workers. They were all very skilled workers too, because the amount of detail in the pyramids for them to build that had to have been done by skilled workers. Couldn't have been done by regular shit munchers. So, as that's stated, regular shit. It's written. Regular shit munchers couldn't have done all of that.
It's written on the wall.
It says it on the wall in hieroglyphs.
Regular shit munchers. This is a picture of a shit.
And a guy going, ow.
Yeah,
it even has the sound ow, there for the munching of the shit.
Look, I don't know, but who knows? No one knows about the pyramids.
Well, that's the thing, is that no one does know, but there's still a lot of people who say they do. And like me saying this now, I don't know. It's just a good fucking yarn, isn't it?
You're throwing stuff out there,
just throwing it out there. And that's the thing, is that obviously there are more experts on this topic. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
But fuck,
are we an expert on any topic? I don't think we are.
I'm an expert on dribbling shit.
Yeah, probably an expert on synths, aren't you?
Not an expert, but I mean, I know my way around one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on anything.
What defines being an expert?
You have a full knowledge of a subject.
An expertise, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps you have an expertise. That could be a good way of putting it.
Maybe that's where the word came from.
Yeah, so here we are today talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Talking about seeing things flying in the sky. Like objects that you don't know what they are. People don't know what they are.
We do have some. We're not going to get to it straight away, but I've had some personal experience with UFOs. Have you, Cody? Have you had any personal experience?
No.
I've had a few personal experiences. I'll give you a rundown on a few of them. So this would have been quite a few years ago now. Travelling back, if anyone can look up the date that Cosmo Jarvis played the Bridge Hotel in Castlemaine a couple of years ago, probably 2014, 15 or something like that, maybe 16. That night, coming home from Castlemaine in the car, there was something really interesting that happened in the sky, which was, we thought a light was following us along in the car. And we're like, oh, that's interesting. It seems to be moving against the stars, like the stars were staying still and it was moving along with us. And it did a couple of really weird snaky movements and like moved across, followed again, moved across, and then just kind of went in a flash, like a giant flash and then a straight line in a complete 90 degree to where it was traveling to us. Very, very cool. Very cool. Perhaps it was an orb lightning phenomenon, who knows? But it was unidentified. Probably. It was definitely in the sky, and it was definitely an object of some sort. I'm not saying it was aliens, just saying it was unidentified flying at an object. Yeah. I have more examples.
Yeah, I know you do.
As a very young lad, I was about 9 years of age.
Yep.
And we showed up to a place called the Schweppes Centre, which was a local basketball stadium, to watch my brother play basketball. And we hopped out of the car, me and my dad.
Yep.
And we're looking up. It was really, really gorgeous, kind of like summer storm sort of thing. And the sky was full of like purples and blues and pinks. It was really nice, really big, picturesque clouds. And Dad and I looked up and we heard this noise. We saw this big flash. First it was this flash, and then between these two sets of clouds, flash, and then flash in the other cloud. And there was these two big noises. Me and Dad looked at each other and we heard someone go, "What the fuck was that?" And I turned around, it was my pa. And my nanny goes, "Ian," because she heard him swear in front of me. She goes, "Oh shit," like that.
What the fuck was that?
And then Dad's like, "Yeah, that's what we were going to say," because we saw that. And then the next day we had like a creative writing class and I wrote all about it. And everyone was like, "Oh, very good science fiction." I'm like, "No, it really happened." And they're like, "No, it didn't. You're crazy." But it was awesome. It was the coolest
Do you
thing.
reckon it was a lightning phenomenon?
Who knows? Because it was very straight lines between two very distinct points and a shitload of these little.
That's what electricity does.
Yeah, but it was awesome. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying it was aliens. Just saying.
You are saying it's aliens.
As a 9-year-old boy, a very uneducated 9-year-old, it was unidentified to me.
Yes.
It was flying, and it was an object.
Okay.
Therefore, it is a UFO. Not saying everything's fucking aliens. Just saying it was a UFO.
You believe in aliens?
Aliens.
Well, let's set up a bit of a cliffhanger because I know we're not going to get into it early. But what do we have today that's different to any other podcast episode?
We have first-hand, real-life footage, video.
Got the footage?
I got this footage, this video. I got this video of UFOs that my friend Ash and I saw. And you're going to see my personal UFO tape. It is real. I cannot explain what is on it. It is spooky.
Yep.
It is entertaining. And it happened in the heart of central Victoria, Australia, next to a pizza place, Luciano's Pizza. It was today's sponsor.
Shout out to Luch.
Luciano's Pizza. They have these great $8, they're not a sponsor, but they should.
I asked him when we were watching the video earlier. I was like, what pizza did you get, mate? Bloody Aussie.
An Aussie, garlic bread and a bottle of drink. It was like...
A bottle of drink?
Yeah.
What was the deal?
The deal is, so it's Pepsi.
$10.95.
It was $10.95.
Was it really?
$10.95.
Sounds like a $10.95.
Pizza, the drink, and because the pizza's $8 normally, right?
Yeah.
And then Pepsi's
that's good value
worthless.
for a pizza.
Pepsi's worthless, so it costs nothing, and they throw in the garlic bread. So it was $10.95 deal, and we both got a 1.25 litre drink, a garlic bread, and our pizza. So Ash got barbecue chicken or a Hawaiian or something. He normally gets something like Caprico, something fruity. No offense, Ash. But Ash picked up some kind of weird pizza with vegetables and shit on it. I just wanted an Aussie pizza with egg and ham. And we got those pizzas, and while I ordered them, we walked down. We were going to have a synth jam on my porch. It was quite a warm September night. Funnily enough, the very next day was to be a world record attempt that I was involved in. Go figure. It was for the irony, a Doctor Who cosplay world record attempt.
Well, the most Doctor Who characters in one location.
Yeah, exactly. The most. And we tried to do that, and we ended up with quite a few people, except it was nowhere near how many people we needed. But I mean, we couldn't end up getting Guinness involved because just to have the Guinness name attached to a record, it costs $8,000.
Really?
Yep, and then you have to pay for an adjudicator for an extra $2,500 or something like that to come and assess it, and then that's like even if you don't get an award, you're down $10,000.
To be honest, I don't see the point in trying to do a world record just to get in the book.
Yeah,
because you can do anything and it's a world record.
Exactly.
Like, all right, I can't win the 100-meter race, but if I put a fucking strange hat on,
yep,
all of a sudden I'm the first
First
guy to run
person,
a 100-meter race with the sombrero on. You know what I mean? There's fuckheads that do that.
Yeah.
I can't run it fast forwards, but I can run backwards.
Yeah.
Turn around and see how fast you can go, you know?
Yeah, fastest person to run 100 metres backwards. Now, the interesting part about that, when we were discussing this whole situation about the Doctor Who cosplay, about what we do with the Guinness, and I'm like, look, why don't we start? Because, like, I mean, Guinness were just the people who hold the record book, right? They're just the one who've got the biggest book.
They're the same as the lovely Irish stout, aren't they?
No, not even the same family. But so,
oh, really?
If you imagine,
I always thought it was like the major sponsor of the. I thought
no, the harp
Guinness
doesn't.
owners.
The harp does not play a part in these Guinness records.
Really?
I don't think so. So
I would like to know.
Imagine if you and
Why
I
not?
started a record book.
Well, we
It would
probably are breaking a world record here.
The most Broden and Cody podcasts ever.
Yeah.
10. That's today.
10.
But
most sitting in this garage
we definitely
at this time ever.
That's a world record.
No one's ever done that.
No one's ever done that before. But like that's the thing is that Guinness were just the family who gone, well, we're going to go around and get all the records and compile them. And if you want to be in our book that is now renowned, you can pay us. So imagine you and I go around and go, look, do you want to get a world record? Hey, we'll give you the world record. Here's the criteria. You've got to pay us this money. We'll put you in a book. We'll give you a certificate. You can take a photo of this, and that means you hold the world record until someone breaks it. The only way they can break that, people probably break that record every day. The only way they can break that record is by paying us to recognise it.
Right.
So think about what a great business. They've made millions of dollars because these people are trying to break records every day.
Now that we're talking about this, I wanted to break a world record right here on this podcast today.
Which record?
Let's do it. Let's find one.
What record?
Let's see what I've got inside. Eating something, probably, or drinking something.
I feel like in current climate, we probably shouldn't waste too much food or drink.
It's all right.
What about quickest drink?
I could do a quickest drink world record.
We could do a quickest drink record. That'd be cool.
Let's search while we keep people waiting for this awesome UFO clip. Let's break a world record. I'll see what I got. Like most somethings. Something that I've got in the cupboard.
Okay. Do you get money for breaking a world record? 5 answers. No.
Because if we can document it.
What's the easiest world record? Here we go. Most CDs balanced on one finger. Fastest time to arrange a chess set. Most T-shirts worn at once. Longest marathon hug. Most eggs cracked with one hand in 1 minute.
What is this shit?
Most sticky notes on body in 5 minutes. Fastest time to place 24 cans in a fridge.
Well, that's achievable.
Fastest window cleaner.
Yeah.
Let's see more.
Well, find one where it's... this is fucking going off the rails, but let's find one... Okay, so yeah, that
Guinness World Records you can easily beat.
Okay.
Well, look, the most CDs balanced on one finger is 247.
It's 2020. I don't have CDs.
Irrelevant. That's good. What else we have? Most T-shirts worn at once. That's stupid. That looks claustrophobic. I'd rather die.
Yeah, my heart just...
No, I can't even look at that. Longest marathon hug.
It's got to be eating. You keep the podcast rolling. I'm going to go have a look.
The most eggs cracked with one hand in 1 minute. Oh, this is all just garbage. Just 100% garbage. But so imagine, for example, you lovely viewer or listener, you want to crack a world record, then you heard it here first. You can break a Broden and Cody world record. All you need to do is send us, what are Guinness charging? $8,000. We'll do it for $80. We will put you in our record book. We'll start up an official world record book. It'll look very similar to this 2020 diary. And we will keep a record of your world record, whatever it is that you want to break. If you want to do fastest time to clip your fingernails, we will happily take that one. If you want to do fastest time to file your fingernails, we'll be happily happily register that for $80. If you want to do fastest time to clean underneath your fingernails, then we'll happily take that record on as well. If you want to do the fastest time to buff your fingernails, then that's a record that we are willing to put down. If you are really good at painting and you want to register the fastest time to paint your fingernails on Broden and Cody World Records, then you can pay us $80 and we'll register that record for you. So how did you go?
Oh, look, I just had a look in the fridge in the cupboard. A few ideas spring to mind.
Yeah.
And we might have to be hot on Google for this one.
Yeah.
How much is the most Pepsi Max ever drunk?
Max ever drunk? Is that the operative? Pepsi Max. Is Pepsi Max safe to drink?
Probably not.
Premature birth, liver damage, and allergies. That seems safe. Can you die from drinking too much Pepsi Max?
Yes.
Coroner says Victoria Lane's body had ingested deadly volumes of prescription drugs. Oh, well, that's not fucking Pepsi Max.
What's the world record for most Pepsi Max drank in a single sitting?
What happens?
I'll beat that today.
What happens when you drink too much Pepsi Max? Who drank a can of artificially sweetened pop, such as Diet Coke or Pepsi Max, daily, were 3 times at the risk of suffering the most common form of stroke compared to non-drinkers. They're also 2.9 more times more likely to develop Alzheimer's. So, I dare say, don't drink any Pepsi Max at all.
Right. Well, there's
Coke
water.
Zero is sugar-free. However, the sugar substitute contains may not necessarily be a healthy option for people looking to reduce their risk of diabetes.
This isn't... This is that we don't want the health.
Coke no sugar. This is the way to go. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Is Coke Zero bad for your liver?
How much?
I don't want to know the answer to that.
How much do I have to drink today to get my name in a world record?
I can't find it. Most soda drunk, because there's American people, right? Most soda.
It's going to be a lot.
Most soda drank in a day. Soda world record. Let's go on the record setter. Let's check this.
It's going to be too much for me.
It's probably going to be. It's probably going to be a lot. Oh, come on.
Like, because there's got to be something around the house that's achievable. I mean, because it's all that. It's just so. All of it's just so easily attainable, isn't it?
Let's just check this out. There's one most consecutive backspins while holding a can of Sundrop.
See, that's what I mean. That's an example of
just
shit.
Specific.
Well, it's just like, I can't do the record without holding the can of Sundrop, whatever that is. That's what they've done. They've gone, well, give me the can, and I'll set the new record.
Largest Twitter cheers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, come on. We want to find this.
Sorry about this. I know we're usually hot on the conversation, and
my goodness.
We're talking about stuff, but today's a bit different. We got a UFO sighting video for you all to watch,
and it's not a fake one. It's not a dumb joke either. This is a legit one. This is
legit, and we're going to show it on the video. If you're watching the video, and if you're not watching the video, then you'll have to head to YouTube or Facebook to watch it. And we'll show the clip, and then we want to hear the feedback from the viewers as well. But also, you're not only getting a UFO sighting video that Broden's generously offered to put on the podcast, you're getting a world record attempt by either myself or Broden if he wants to get his name in the book as well.
I write the book.
He's going to write. Oh yeah, because we're making our
own records.
Yeah. Oh well, I could set the bar for.
You can.
Pepsi.
You can set. Anything you do is going to be a world record starter
for Broden and
check
Cody
this out.
World record.
Most capless USBs balanced on the back of hand.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
World record. Let's write that in there.
No.
Come on, that's great. See,
no, we're not stooping to that level.
Oh,
we're doing.
That's how Guinness started.
Yeah, no, they had the world's tallest man, and then they take a picture of him next to the world's shortest man. Just absolute insult.
All the stuff on this is garbage, man. It's like longest suspended soda can chain, tallest soda can tower. It's all about cans. Longest time to balance 6 unopened soda cans on chin. Just that's all. It's all horse shit. We're gonna have to set this record ourselves. Let's set the record straight.
Well, should I just drink water? I'd rather drink water than Pepsi.
I think you should start with water and just see how the water goes. I think that'd probably be.
How much is a lot? To set the bar.
I mean, a cup is 250 ml.
Yeah.
I reckon if you were to drink, and a can is 375. I reckon if you were to drink 6 or 7 liters, you'd die.
Oh, well, I'd die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I want to do as close to death without dying.
Okay. So do you want stomach rupture?
No, I don't want any of that. I just want to be able to sit here.
Oh, so
for the viewers.
You want
no
no
danger.
Listeners. You want zero danger. So
yeah,
not
I just want
death.
people to go, oh, you can
Jeez, he's good at that. That's all the record's for.
That's what I want.
Jeez,
I want
he's
people
good at
to be
that, isn't
watching
he?
going,
Hey,
"Oh."
look, he spends all his time drinking drinks so he can bloody go on a book or something.
Exactly. That's
Know
what
what
I
I mean?
want.
That's what-
And this is all for today's an entertainment based episode. Like all the other ones are. But there's a bit of like, there's thought provoking, and
Exactly.
today is more about we're doing a record.
Yeah.
And we're going to play an
Alien
video.
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't say alien, but
It's alien to
it is.
me.
It's aliens.
It's alien to me. It's not aliens.
It is.
I don't think it's aliens. I don't know what it is, but I'm very, very interested to find out.
Yeah, and we'd love your feedback. Because I don't know, when do you want to play that in relation to the world record?
Well, I've got another alien story for you.
All right.
So this happened to me.
Yeah.
And see, this does not prove that aliens are real, and it proved to me, it solidified to me that anyone who has ever thought they've been abducted by aliens is wrong. I don't think anyone's really been abducted by aliens.
Okay.
Because I experienced a real alien abduction.
Right.
The realest thing that I can imagine would be possible to close to a real alien abduction.
Okay, what happened?
All right, fuckhead, what now? That's what that was. So this is a serious story. This actually happened to me. And
No, I can't tell if
you're
you're having a laugh.
I'm not even having a laugh, I promise.
Alright,
This actually happened, and I've told this to many friends before,
Right.
and it was the coolest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I'm going to tell it to you as if I were an actual abductee, which I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'll give it to you if you were to watch a documentary and someone would say, you're abducted. This
Like
is what
I'm
I would...
interviewing you.
Yeah.
For the doco.
So here's what happened.
What happened?
I was asleep. At my house, and I heard a very, very large, thunderous sound.
Right.
Like very, like thunder. Very sharp and short though, like whack, like it's super, super quick. Then my dogs were going fucking ballistic, crazy, like we're going absolutely mental, and I couldn't open my eyes.
Yep.
And I couldn't move, but I wanted to get up, and I tried to get up, but I could not move. And I could hear the dogs quieten down, and they stopped almost immediately. And then I felt people around my bed, and I heard people around my bed. I heard movement around my bed, and I could hear footsteps, and I could feel something. Then I felt my entire body lift off the bed. Well, I could still hear everything, and I could hear these weird murmurs. And then I opened my eyes, and I was in a big grey room, very dark, with a light above my head. Classic autopsy situation.
Yeah, aliens.
Light above your head. And there were alien faces, alien greys, what I know from pop culture as an alien face. So I saw these big, silver-looking, fucking grey-looking, like really flat-skinned sort of things with the big classic eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm an avid lucid dreamer. I love to lucid dream. So I never get alarmed. I've never had a nightmare once I realised I could control what happens in my dreams.
Yeah.
And so I felt like this was not a dream. It felt legitimate to me. And I felt as if I were there, right? And I could hear these things gibbering in this particular something that I couldn't really understand. Then I started to phase into listening to what they were saying. And I said, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, not much, mate. How are you? And I was like, oh, fuck, I can understand you. He goes, yeah, of course you can. I said, do you exist?
Mate.
Do you exist in my mind? Are you real? And he goes, well, of course we exist in your mind, but doesn't everything? And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And he goes, think about when you go outside and you look at a tree. Does that tree exist in front of you, or does it exist in your mind? Because that tree is a reflection of light that is interpreted by the two little holes that exist in a little gel sac in your face, which is then transmitted into something in your brain. So does that tree exist at all, or is it just something that's happening in your brain to give you the feeling that tree is there? And I'm like, well, that's very interesting. And I was having this full, really deep conversation with this guy, and just talking about stuff. I'm like, so why are you here? And they're like, oh, we're just doing some tests. We're just going to check on you to make sure that you're okay. And they're like, we care about you, and we want you to know that we're here.
Crazy.
And I'm like, oh, that's really nice. Thank you very much. I'm like, I'm here for you too. And they're like, we know. And I was like, okay, so this is cool. And I said, so obviously this is a dream, isn't it? And he said, well, if you think of your tree from before and think of the smells, everything really does just exist inside your mind. So whether it is a dream or not really says to is life a dream? And I had this great chat with these guys. And then he pulled a thing out and I'm like, that's going to go in my ass, isn't it? Full on. And he's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, okay. I said, why do you guys do that? And they're like, it's just part of the procedure. And I'm like, wow. I said, because I've heard.
You guys do that?
Yeah. And
I've heard this.
I've heard, because I've heard about this before. And so then I literally felt this thing. It wasn't big. It wasn't like major or anything. It wasn't like I was going to get some kind of porno fucked or anything. But this thing, then I felt it go in actually inside my ass. And it's really confronting for people to say. And they're like, get really victimized and stuff like that. But I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, when you think about it, why would aliens come across the galaxy to stick something up your asshole? I mean, come on. Like, I mean, let's. I know you're not a fucking teenage boy here. I just want to stick it in the butt for a minute, This is legit stuff. So I'm like, okay. And then especially when I tell this stuff to people, they're like, oh nah, more. That's all bloody shit. Oh no. I'm like, mate, put your shit aside for a second, whatever your preconceptions of what sex is or whatever, and listen to what I'm saying to you. Aliens stuck something up my ass, and I could smell it. You know that, like, when you that feeling. Some people may not better than other, but you can smell that something's been in a bum when you go into a room. Some people will know what I'm talking about. Now, and that's the thing, is it's very hard to be mature about the situation.
Oh, Christ.
And this is not a bit. This is not a joke.
Say you can smell something's been in a bum when you enter a room. You can't say that sentence and expect people not to look you in the face and laugh.
I don't expect them to believe this, because we'll get to that in a moment. But that is the fact of the matter. If you walk into a room, you can tell the difference between when something's been in an ass and when it hasn't. If you walk into a room and the room's a bit thick in the air and you can smell that particular scent, you know that something's been in a bum. So anyway, after this happens, I'm like, oh, well, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And they're like, of course not. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to make sure that you're okay. We're just here to look after you. And I said, my dog's okay? They're like, they're perfectly fine. They're asleep at home. I'm like, oh, not a problem.
Where are you?
Well, that's the thing, is I said, where am I? I'm like, oh, you're with us now. You're safe. And I'm like, okay. They wouldn't give me any direct answers about this stuff. Okay. So after all this wishy-washy shit, and I'm like, oh, this is great. What a really good dream.
Yeah.
And then they put me back in the bed, and I feel myself lower onto the bed, back into the bed. And then I'm in my room, my eyes are open, and I can smell that particular smell, but I can't move a fucking muscle. I can't move, and I can't sleep. I'm too excited.
Sleep paralysis. Is that what it felt like?
That's what it was. So when we get down to this, I'll boil this down in a moment, but I came back from this amazing trip through the galaxy, and I couldn't move. I was frozen for a little while. And they told me, they said, you're going to feel a little funny for a while. You might have to walk it off or something. No, they didn't say that. Like, you might feel a little funny for a while. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. And then I tried to go back to sleep. I couldn't. And eventually I fell back to sleep and everything was fine. I woke up the next day.
Do you watch heaps of alien documentaries?
No, I hadn't. I'm actually terrified of them. That's why I don't do it.
Because of that experience? Yeah.
Well, and no, before that, this made peace with that. Now I don't care. Because then I realised this was completely fake. Mm-hmm. This was not real. And it wasn't like a victim denial thing. It made me understand what really happened. And what I'm sure has happened, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who disagree with me who say they've been abducted and has something happened to them. But what I believe, just from the cumulative knowledge over years of living and trying to look into things I'm interested in, I had a lot of trouble when I was a kid with bad dreams. Now, I eventually heard about lucid dreaming when I was an early teenager, and heard about some particular things you can do when you're having a bad dream, or if you're having a bad situation in your life. Things like go and flick a light switch off or on, and if the light changes in the room, it can be real. But then check your watch if you can actually read the time, or try to make a call on your phone. These are things that you can do in your dream that will not work.
Yeah, because you can't register the change in the sudden change. Like, I've had dreams and all the time where you go on to make a phone call and you just start dialing numbers.
And you're like, I'm trying to type 0483.
Nothing's happening.
Exactly.
And it's frustrating. It's like...
That's when you should accept the fact.
Do the same shit to you.
It does it?
The same
trips
thing.
you out?
Well, it makes you frustrated. I can't turn the fucking light off.
Yeah, right.
And then all of a sudden you're like, I turned it off, didn't I? But it's still on.
Yeah. That's
Still
the
on,
point.
but you're turning it back on, but you're not remembering
Yes.
that you turn. And sometimes you're not even in the fucking anywhere near the light switch.
Well, that is the point in that dream where you should hopefully acknowledge and realize within that dream that this is an actual dream, and you then go, I have control here.
Yeah.
So I would do that when I was a kid. I'd have these horrible dreams where I was running away from stuff or whatever, and then I realized, hang on a minute, I know this. This has happened before. This is a dream.
Yep.
I can control it. And
Yep.
from that point, I'd been able to access a really cool part where, you get to the flying feeling and stuff like that. I used to be able to pull that up on call. So this particular time, I've just come off this mothership and woke up to whatever. So I'm an avid dreamer. Like I really enjoy having some wacky dreams like that.
It's cool.
And I've woken up to some classic sleep paralysis, as you mentioned before.
Horrible.
It can be.
There's nothing more horrible that I've experienced.
Yeah.
I've gone lucid dream where
Yeah.
you're awake
Yeah.
and you transition into the dream.
Yeah.
Same, looking at the same thing, but all of a sudden the TV that you're watching starts going a bit distorted.
Yep.
And they're saying weird shit now.
Mm.
But you still think you're awake in the room. And then through the door comes something horrible. And you're standing there and you can't move. And then all of a sudden it's like, how do I get out of this? And then you wake up and the monster or the entity's gone.
Yeah.
TV's on, but now it's making sense. You're like, oh, fuck, that was just horrible because it's just
Yeah.
zoning out. You can trigger it, I'm sure you know, by just lying completely still, all muscles relaxed and staring awake
At a single point.
when you're really tired. It works the
Wow.
best.
That's out of control.
And then you go into it. But you got control over it.
Excuse me.
Bert Kreischer, I think, is the same.
Yeah.
Can trigger that
I mean,
lucid state.
it takes a long time to figure out how to do, and when you do get into that state, it's very addictive, and you will not. When you go to
it's like
sleep,
a drug trip.
but you
like
don't sleep though because you're too busy. Your brain's too active, and you're too busy working in there. Like it's work. You're solving problems that would happen in the real life situations, and then also when you realize. A lot of the time when you dream, it's to put new knowledge in or to solve problems, right? But when you're in there just
It's the
having a good
beginning of it.
time, you're like Fortnite creative, but in your brain,
Yeah. Well, what a dream essentially is what they think is the beginning of ideas.
Yeah.
It's the birthplace of it all.
Seeding.
And
Inception.
other people think, yeah. Well, the other people think there's other experts that say it's the just sorting out of all the shit in your
Yeah.
head, all the stuff, all the memories and knowledge that you've accumulated. It's
Deciding what to keep.
yeah, like storing it, because obviously, as you're aware, every face you see in a dream is a face
Yeah.
that you've registered, and
Yep.
you can't make up a face. But I don't know how I feel about that. I reckon you could, using bits of
Of course you can.
face.
Yeah, of course you can.
You could.
You know what a person looks like, and you can change that to suit. I've had dreams about people that I've never seen.
Well, you
like
think
like these aliens, for example.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never seen a real alien. How do I know what that looks like?
Yeah, so you got the fake aliens.
So this explains
greys.
most of this, right? So I understand that sleep paralysis exists,
Mm-hmm.
and that I've woken up completely stiff because I have a bit of sleep paralysis. I understand that exists.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that I have a very active imagination, as we all do, and we all can tap into that sometimes.
Yeah.
And the concepts that existed in that conversation with that alien weren't concepts I was unfamiliar with. They're
Yeah.
concepts I've ran through my mind, but I've never played them out in a dialogue before.
Yeah.
And perhaps that's the first time that's happened. It's just
So
your brain using its imagination.
Essentially, you're communicating with yourself.
Exactly, which is how anybody writes, for example, a script for a movie.
It's
That's
the best,
one
most
person's
effective
brain.
way to write
Exactly.
anything. Yeah.
As you should. Now, something went inside my anus. How do I explain that?
Yeah, I'd hate to
Very
imagine.
simply, in fact. And a lot of people will be familiar with this concept too, called fart bubble. Very simple concept. When your body is digesting, you have a gas buildup. And the gas moves around somewhere into your body until there's too much, and then it moves to the next chamber, moves to the next section.
Right.
Now, I remember specifically being quite dehydrated before I went to bed and before when I woke up. And as you know, when you open your mouth, for example, when you're dehydrated, you feel your skin stick together inside your mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of goes, you know what I mean? It just kind of does that stick together thing where it goes like that. If anybody's watching, I'm doing a gesture here with my hands.
Explain the gesture. It's peeling.
Peeling. It's
away.
a good peeling, exactly. Now, when you are dehydrated, that affects more than just your mouth. It affects any other
Organs.
inwards and outwards and organs that you may be dealing with. So, for example, if you were to have a fart bubble that filled up your anus would fill up like a balloon, like one of those long balloons, and it kind of expands one end more than the other. like that,
Yeah.
separating the skin in the middle,
Yeah.
simulating the feeling of something entering that.
Yes.
Do you understand? And the
Yeah.
smell after they'd pulled the thing out was just a fart. So basically, I had a fucking sweet dream, bit of sleep paralysis, and a fart. I didn't get fucking abducted by aliens, but this is the crux of the entire situation is where there's a lot of people out there who claim to have been abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
If you take away the rational part of that situation where you can see the sum of the parts separately, and obviously you put them all together into this experience and you go, well, that's amazing, but you deconstruct that experience. Add a little bit of trauma from perhaps a childhood experience or a past experience with violence or something like that, or perhaps a sexual violence, then you can get some serious claims and issues that have come apart from that. There was a very interesting episode of Andy Dowling's Anti-Social podcast in which Andy had a chat to a gentleman from Melbourne who claims to have been visited continuously.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the guy's name, but it's a good episode. If you can find that, have a listen to that. It's very interesting. And a lot of the situations that are spoken about with demons at the end of the bed and all that kind of stuff, he does mention at some point, very casually, I found, and I thought it was worth probably asking a little more questions about, but you really don't want to dig into that stuff when they mention it so casually, about this person's previous experience with childhood sexual trauma. And I'm like, well, what a beautiful analog to draw between that horrible experience and then these particular abductions. What's the most terrifying thing to a vulnerable child like that is some fucking evil person doing these things to them, standing at the end of their bed, whereas the one place they should feel safe, right? So imagine like this particular, and this alien that this guy saw wore a leather jacket and all this stuff and like had slicked back hair and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, that's a person, man. You're projecting this demonic face onto this person who hurt you so hard. And like that's where a lot of that stuff can become a really heavy claim on the abduction stuff, saying that it's real, when it's like, no, well, basically you've got some psychological stuff that you really need to have a look at and work on and talk about and kind of overcome, when you could have really, I mean, I'm not blaming these people for this stuff, but I mean, what it could be is a rational enjoyment of a part of your imagination that can really go crazy.
Yep.
And so that's leading back again to my opinion that aliens aren't coming to your house. They're not here. I don't think they're here, like, with us. You know what I mean?
Did you ever see the documentary Stan Romanek
No.
Files on Netflix?
No.
He's a guy who's repeatedly been visited.
Yeah.
He's got video footage of little aliens running around his house, little grey aliens.
That's cool as fuck.
Like that.
I love that. And I want it to be real.
Peeking through his sliding door, and
Why
he's like,
that's so
"Oh my
sketchy?
god!" And then he's got the famous one.
Yeah.
It's called I think it's called the Boo Alien or something.
Yeah.
He set up a camera in his lounge room, window there. He fucks off from the camera. Alien pops up like this and looks in. You would have seen it.
Yeah.
It kind of looks around, then bobs its head back down.
Boo.
The Boo Alien.
Oh, I'm getting chills right now. I don't know if you can see, but
Now,
I have them because that's
He comes back
fascinates me.
and it's pretty convincing the way he sort of panics and looks. He kind of like peeks out and goes, "Ah," like you know when you think, oh, I'm not going to panic like that when I see something creepy.
Yeah.
He kind of, he's like, "Ah," like just horrible.
I love
and
it.
it's a creepy video because it's in night vision, and
Yeah.
you can just see its little distorted head.
See, not
Now,
Yep.
he says he's repeatedly been visited. He's got all his stories. He's got something landed in his backyard, flash of light. He had a big mark on the outside of his house that wasn't there. Then they're replacing the cladding on his house. He's filming this mob and they wouldn't talk to him. And he looked up the name of the company to recladding his house for no reason. He didn't organise it. And they don't exist. And the people won't talk to him. They just keep saying, no, leave it to us. It's all like this. To me, yeah, bullshit. There's no real proof that they're not talking to him or anything. Then at the very end of the documentary, it comes up with text. Stan Romanek was convicted of sexual offences against children. But you make your mind up who did this. Like, I just feel like he's made a doco and he's just gone, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. They're just trying to frame me because I'm friends with the aliens.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like some of the stuff that you see, like the peekaboo alien, realistic, kind of looks like a fake alien. But all the other shit he says in it is very sketchy. And the people he hangs out with is like culty.
Yeah.
He's got like a crew.
Night vision's a really good cover for prosthetics and bad makeup.
He's got one video. We might be able to look it up.
I'd love to see it.
And the alien's running around his house. It's about 3 foot high. And he's going, oh my God, what's it doing? And it stops and stares at him. Like it goes up the stairs and it's looking at him.
I'm already terrified.
It's like CGI, but too good to be
already
CGI.
Terrified. I love that stuff. And that's the thing. I wish it were real. I wish it were true. But I don't think it is.
I think he's actually a sexual predator.
Yeah, well, that's also horrible, and die for that.
And actually, in that documentary, he says this at one point, and it's very creepy the way he says it. He goes, I think it was his son or his nephew were having a sleepover, and one of the boys got dared to do a nudie run, and he says that he's like, I just was filming him, to use as blackmail. Or whatever. He says that. I'm like, well, you've just admitted to being a pedophile, you stupid fuck. Because at the end it says that you are one and now he's in jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to watch the doco. I'm probably not explaining it right, but he does say that he was filming a naked child and just laughing about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you shouldn't be on.
No.
First of all, you shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Second of all, you shouldn't be stupid enough to go and make it.
You did it.
And then at the end say that you fucking.
I was filming this naked kid running around my house.
But anyway, it wasn't me. It was
aliens.
Aliens. They're framing me. The government don't want you to know.
I love that stuff, man, because that's, like I say, I wish they were real. I really wish. Because imagine all the problems in the world if you're under I think Ronald Reagan said something like that at a world's, what are they called? The international relations place or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the UN.
The UN, United Nations speech is like, he goes, I don't want to sound dark or something, but wouldn't it be amazing if there was some kind of extraterrestrial threat? I think we'd figure out our similarities and overcome our differences pretty fucking quick if
there was a new kid on the block that you didn't like.
Exactly.
Actually, we actually do have
and they can smoke all of us, and we got to stick together. And maybe we're seeing that in the form of a virus at the moment. Who knows? But
it seems to be going the other way.
I don't think it's an alien virus, but yeah, it does seem to be going the other way. But imagine that the uncertainty of the universe being so big, and that's the thing is, I'm not saying there aren't aliens. I'm just saying I don't think they've come here.
Right.
And Joe Rogan, for example, I watched an episode where he's like, no, there'd be plenty of stuff to look at here. And I'm like, of course they are. But I feel like that if they're all around the universe, I don't know if they'll come into your backyard to stick stuff up your bum. Do you know what I mean? And they wouldn't continue to bother you. And the thing is, also with that stuff about the trauma, a lot of that trauma creates a feeling of isolation and self-hate and self-doubt and a lack of self-importance and lack of confidence. Now, how important must you be that people will come from across the galaxy to visit you? That must make you pretty special, right? So you're searching for this thing that you've never had because someone's made you feel so unimportant in your life.
Yeah.
And to be like same with people who say they can talk to ghosts. No, you can't. It's psychosis.
That shits me beyond
you know
belief.
what I mean? And then to ask the people who if you want to say you talk to ghosts, that's great. The second you start charging people money to talk to
Wilson.
I don't know who that is.
She's like the traveling goes to the RSLs.
Oh, really?
She won the series. I think it was called The One.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was a medium competition.
Reality
show. If you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, you can't.
It's very simple.
And she have had my dad on the phone to her, communicating with her, being sucked in, thinking he was talking to my grandfather, his dead dad.
So you
over the phone.
She's
so good at what she does.
Oh, so she's a charlatan. She's a scam.
She's a medium.
She's a scammer.
Yeah, they all are.
Yeah. So hang on, she was like convincing your family that they were talking to dead people.
Over the phone, yeah.
Yeah, that's called cold reading, and even better if it's hot reading.
You know what she said?
If you can get information from someone.
And I was there. I was listening. I was tricked by. I was young.
Yeah.
He's on the phone talking to her, who's sending messages. Anyway, he's on the phone, landline. Back in the day, he's got playing with an apple, and she goes, "Oh, I'm getting something about an apple," which at the time, fuck, I've got one in my hand. Incredible. But you ask anybody in the fucking planet something about an apple, whether you got one in your hand or not, you've got to say, I had an apple for lunch yesterday. How did they know? He must have been there. It's just coincidental.
2 in the room, Apple products.
I'm looking at an apple.
Exactly.
When she says apple, you look at it. I'm looking at one right now.
Yeah, you look for one.
Yeah.
So There's a really good Darren Brown episode on that.
I've seen
on
that
stuff. It's great.
But you're preying on the vulnerable in
Exactly.
such a way that they're so desperate to not have said goodbye. And how good would it be if you didn't have to say goodbye to your loved ones and you could continue to communicate with them through these psychopaths who are only interested in paying their bills, which we all want to do.
Without having to work.
But find a noble way to do it, you piece of shit.
You're using people and you're manipulating people and you're really
Most
hurting
vulnerable.
them. And that's the thing, is the same with the funeral industry, which I find disgusting a lot of the times.
Why?
Well, have a think about it. You're dead. Your family's dead. Now you've got to go and spend a lot of money just to put them in a box, to put them in the ground.
Yeah.
Realistically, that person can still be of good use. And it sounds despicable, and a lot of people are going to be really upset by this because they don't want to think of their loved ones in such a way. But good fertilizer, good organ donation.
Yeah, I was going
You
to
know
say
what
medical.
I mean? There's medical stuff. There's so many great things you can. I'm not
Shaven-
saying we should
become a
make,
shaven head and be on a medical student. You know.
but I'm not saying we should make handbags out of fatties or something like that. I'm just saying that instead of putting someone in a box full of fucking pickle juice to be just so we can hold them for a couple of extra days, which refrigeration would more than handle, so you can check them out. I'm saying maybe more of a natural sort of approach to that funeral industry would be better, because now we've got these monumental blocks of fucking land that can never be touched because they've got the entire dead population of the last 250, 300 years on there. And we can't do anything. That land can no longer be a park for kids, which I think it should be. A lot of those, there should be a memorial park where perhaps you can have... family can buy a tree, for example, and you can do a pod burial, and so all the family can be buried around there, and they feed the fucking tree. That's gorgeous. That's better than anything that you can hope for. Yeah. It's part of nature. Some of those trees are going to fall over, and some of them are going to die, because that's just nature. But it's more of a natural approach than just, say, burning them off and just polluting the atmosphere with extra carbon.
Yeah, and and with that, your energy, all energy that you have ever accumulated, and that you have, and that you are. All that matter's gone once you burn. And that's gone forever. Growing in a tree.
It's transferable.
Or even if you just go on the ground.
But but that's if you look. Here's the thing: if you go into the ground and you've been filled with this fluid, with the what's it called, the embalming fluid, embalming agent. I can't remember the name of the actual chemical. It's not formaldehyde. I don't think they use formaldehyde anymore. Or do they use formaldehyde?
Don't know.
I've got a friend,
It's the shit that
Jess.
makes
You
you
can
real
tell
tan.
me. Yeah,
You see like 100-year-old body.
So formaldehyde is the trick, or whatever it is. Sorry, embalming fluid is the trick. But what would happen? And I do actually have a friend who could really clear this up. She worked for a few funeral places in town. I'm sure she doesn't appreciate me saying that I disapprove of her industry, but I don't disapprove of you. I just think the industry is a bit money hungry when it comes to particular sorts of things. But have a think about what you're doing is you're filling this body up with to pickle them, and then you're putting them in a sealed box. And then over time, that box has to, like that wood that's varnished and all that kind of shit, takes forever to deteriorate, and then it's got to get in there. So you're not even feeding the worms.
Does it deteriorate quicker with the body decomposing?
No, because that's the thing, is the body's building up pressure inside this closed box, which is now airtight from having wood all over it. So eventually that's going to split and buckle and... So the body inside there's getting fucked up, and it's creating all this juicy pressure, heating up.
Disgusting.
This is a decomposing body. This is what I'm talking about. And that's the thing, is that people don't want to think about this because it's unpleasant. But if you can break it down to be a little bit more mature about the way you approach the idea of what's actually happening, you can really come down to it. Whereas if you don't do that, you don't put the pickle juice in there. To harvest the organs that are needed to help somebody else live their life, you're already contributing more than I have in my entire life to this society. And then you drop this body in the ground. It feeds nature, and trees feed them fucking selves. You know what I mean? They feed you. The air you breathe comes from them. They suck up your carbon dioxide, and then they bear fruit, for example, which can feed people. It's just a hell of a lot more of a nicer way to recycle your cosmic energy.
I agree.
I
agree.
It's out of control. So maybe we should get back on track and have a look at some UFO videos.
On that note.
What do you think?
Yeah. Let's watch this first clip.
Fantastic.
And we'll give it some live commentary for those who can't get to the television right now.
All right.
So if you want to go ahead and play that on the screen there.
No problems.
And let's do this. This is the first clip. Do you want to explain it further? You already have a little bit.
Sort of. We'll do a recap on this. So this is in September of 2015 or 16. I'll have to check. But it was the day before the Bendigo Record Comic and Book Fair. We had a Doctor Who
World
cosplay
record.
world record competition.
Okay.
Now, we were walking, we had a couple of these Novation Circuit synthesizers, but we both had purchased one, and it was a nice night, so we decided we were going to grab a couple of pizzas and play with them on the porch.
Yep.
On our way there, we saw some wacky shit in the sky, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if we saw and then holy shit, we started seeing stuff flying out of the sky. Now, let's play the entire video.
Okay.
There's 2 here.
Go ahead. This is exciting.
Drones, or if what's going on, but there's some lights in the sky.
Yep.
You can't see it. One over there. You
Corner
can
of
see on
McRae
the
Street
camera.
and Tramways Street, I think it's
In
called.
Bendigo.
Yeah.
And then there's another one up there.
Okay, so you got lights flying through the sky
There's
here,
one trailing behind.
slowly. Now, what speed is that moving at? And
Oh.
how high up is it? Can you
3,
tell
that's
by
the third one.
band?
I'm a pretty bad judge of distance, but it's definitely
Within
like
the
a-
atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely within the atmosphere. I think it must be reasonably large. I think it's
Where's the
bigger than a
third one
plane.
What kind of light is it?
It's
got?
very bright. That's what I found
They're all-
interesting.
'cause
It's
they're all in a
bright
line following that.
and it's not facing forward. It's kind of covering the entire
Drones,
thing.
It wouldn't be that fast and have that kind of range.
I'm just trying to discuss whether or not it would be a drone because it's traveling really, really far.
But it's completely
It came from
silent.
across the horizon. Like it came from further than we could see.
But is it not burning rock of some sort?
That was the thing
I don't know
too.
where
Is
the
it
third one
actually
got to.
flickered like a candle flame?
Okay, so here's the second video.
Yep. So I was trying to show that it flickers like a candle. I don't know why it's gone orange like that, but it was
Did that just
a
go?
very
But just
a
fucking
very
disappear.
white light.
Now, is it
Yeah,
one?
where is it?
How many is it?
Well, by the end of it, we
actually
saw about
see it.
9 or 10, but I think I only filmed about 4 or 5 of them. And they were coming from the direction of, if you're familiar with Bendigo, Lake Waruna. They
Oh,
were coming from
I
further
see it.
past
It
Lake
must just be
Waruna
thick cloud, yeah?
from the north, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's the north,
Like, I
from
still see it
Epsom,
moving like
further
you
than
said.
Epsom away. But they went well past
Yeah.
over the city and further and further and further.
I can still see that thing moving, man. It ain't moving the right way, is it?
So is it? Could it be
Funny.
rocks?
Well, that's the thing is I don't think they're moving fast enough for rocks. And also they were stopping.
Through the trees there.
Stopping.
Yeah, I mean, I got tired of filming it by a certain point, but they were literally
They're moving
stopping.
relatively straight.
There's one right in the middle.
Is that it moving up the? Oh yeah.
And then I think you can kind of see
between
one
the signs there.
between the trees, yeah. So that's just flickering because it's doing that. But once it got into the clear sky, you could see it, and it was like a candle. But
That's
there's
moving
one behind it
pretty
there.
Weird, isn't it? It's very
Oh yeah,
very
one
light.
coming again.
Yeah, one
That's
coming up
weird
behind
that they're
it.
coming one after the other.
That's what I was talking about. Is it was just
It's like a fleet.
yeah, but like singularly. And look at how it's
To
moving.
the other side of the sign.
And I'm trying to hold it as close, as still as I can.
What's it? It's just moving in
Hey?
steady motion.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it's on fire, doesn't it?
That's my phone going off in the video. But there were just, I could not believe it, and they kept
Maybe it's just
moving.
people at the lake filming with drones.
Was there any
it's up very
sort of
fucking high.
NASA space astronaut fucking things going
I
on?
don't think so.
It looks like it's burning, doesn't it?
I mean, we went when we went back, we tried to look it up and looked up UFO, looked up satellite movement, looked up all these things, but we didn't find anything. And yeah, like they were stopping. Some of them was kind of squiggling very lightly through the
Nah,
sky.
that's too... It's still going. It'd be out by now. You know, it wouldn't burn that slow, and it wouldn't travel in that kind. It would go up or down or something.
Yeah, and we thought maybe it was like a funeral sort of situation where they sometimes light little candles and put them
Oh,
in the
fuck,
balloon
another one.
things.
Oh yeah.
And look, there's more.
How many is
It's-
that? We
Oh
should
yeah,
actually
like
look at it.
some celebration.
Yeah, but like,
Maybe.
but we just could not put our finger on what it was.
If anyone out there knows what potentially that could be, we'd like to know.
We'd love to hear it. Now, this actually made it to the Regional Victoria UFO sightings page.
What were people saying on it?
They
Weird
just
as
liked
shit.
it. They were just interested in it. You know, there was nothing really too.
It was
much
pretty
to
cool to
say.
watch. That's in a
We're
different
going
trajectory.
too far across town. Like that one's through the trees.
Yeah,
That's
different
fucked.
directions.
All right, let's go home and try not to get abducted or some shit.
So that's my
Let's
two.
go
That's
home.
my two UFO videos, man.
Yeah, cool.
It was
Not everyone has UFO videos.
And not long after this, I was at a rehearsal for the cover band rehearsal in Walmer, just near Malden.
yeah.
And I was telling this story and about this UFO thing, and lo and behold, I looked up and saw something, and I'm like, "You got to be shitting me!" And I got the other boys to check it out, and they looked up. Adam from the band actually filmed it on his phone, which is also on the Regional Victoria UFO sighting page.
Yeah. Get him to
know.
send it.
Yeah, I'll have to get him to send it, or we can look it up, or someone else can check it out. But just didn't have any memory on my phone, so I didn't get to film it. But Adam filmed it, and it was definitely stopping, starting, moving, doing wacky shit. Adam flies drones,
I'm afraid to tell you.
and he didn't think it was a drone.
Yeah. Alien experience you had
Yeah,
wasn't a dream.
it was you, wasn't it?
There's someone's duck following you around. No, that's cool. Cool as shit.
We learnt more about this thing over in Walmer, and apparently this particular thing is called the Walmer Orb. And
Oh, they've got one.
well, they've got one of the aliens. Apparently, sometimes it's accompanied by helicopters. And I had a friend who lived on that hill.
Right.
My in-laws, Brett and Holly, lived on that hill, Walmer. And I said one time, I was talking to people about it, I'm like, I just sent him a Snapchat, said, tell me about the Walmer Orb. And he just wrote back, weird dreams and alien screams.
What the fuck?
And apparently what used to happen is that they used to have all these fucked up dreams while they were living there about these aliens before they knew about this orb thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at night they could hear these squeals and screams and all this wacky noise, and also like this heavy, low droning. And I'm like, they're also on next to a bike, but like a fucking highway, so it could be trucks.
Truck going.
Exactly, it could be that. So that's pretty easily explainable. But I mean, the dreams that they kept having before they knew about this stuff, and then seeing the thing going over their house all the time and all this kind of stuff, just really, really, really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brett can probably correct me on that one, whether or not I could be elaborating a little more. But it makes for a good yarn. So
It does,
what's the
yeah.
truth? What's the truth in
When
the way
you're
of
in
a good yarn?
Walmart, you need something to
Exactly, yeah.
something to spice it
So
up.
what a fucking exciting time I believe that was. That was just probably one of the coolest coolest times ever. I mean, like, I still don't think aliens came here, but it was here's the criteria for a UFO. Can you identify it? Yes or no?
We want
Is
to
it
know if you
flying?
can.
Yes or no? Is it an object? Yes or no? Very, very broad here. I'm not saying it's aliens. I'm just saying I didn't know that they made choppers that did that, for example. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not.
What is it?
Exactly. Can you identify it? Is it flying as an object?
I like
mean,
the idea that it could be some sort of ceremonial thing
Yeah.
lit on fire.
It's very pretty.
Because they might go light and the winds go in the same direction.
Exactly.
And then we light another one and we send it
Exactly.
off. You know how people, different cultures will
Lanterns.
light
Little lanterns that they heat up the little
Maybe.
thing. I think that was lovely. But here's the thing. They were up fucking high and they were very white and very bright. I don't know of any flame that burns like that. Because for a flame to burn white hot, it needs to be fucking hot. So this definitely looked like an electrically made light.
Yeah.
And it almost looked like this. It was kind
Military.
of like plasma or something. It was very interesting. I just wish I had a handy cam that I have over on the second angle there, our backup camera.
Yeah.
That has the most amazing zoom to the point I can see details on the moon at night with the zoom on that camera.
Wow.
Now, if I had had that camera at the time with a tripod, I would have been ecstatic to get some video of that. But that is my alien experience. That's
great.
You know, that's my UFO stories.
If you're out there watching and you saw that,
Aliens,
or you're
we're
listening,
talking to you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're out there, aliens, come on the podcast.
We'd love to see
chat
you.
there.
Oh, wouldn't it be great to be the first person to speak to a real alien?
Yeah, like they don't agree to go on Rogan and stuff,
No,
but
no.
because they don't want anyone to see them.
No, that's right.
So
No,
they come on ours.
They don't want to go on.
No one will-
no one will watch.
No one will know.
That's right. Steady decline. That'd be great. I'd love to meet some aliens. I mean,
Yeah.
like, wouldn't
Yeah.
it be great to be the first person to talk to another fucking person from another planet? What a treat.
Oh, yeah.
Be great. But there's some great stuff out there. There's some great documentaries. There's some great
There's some funny stuff.
movies
like,
like
that
Fire in the Sky. That's fucked up. The thing about, have you seen Fire in the Sky?
No.
Fire in the Sky has one of the most confronting abduction like procedures scenes in it that I've ever seen. And I fundamentally disagree with it because I feel like if there was a civilized or a civilization that were flying across the galaxy, they wouldn't have a ship that looked like the equivalent of a fucking junkyard on the inside. That shit's got to be equipped for interstellar travel. It doesn't want to have sharp, jagged
be
edges.
luxury.
Exactly. And the other thing I really like, there's a really good theory about the alien greys that people are familiar with as far as, the pop culture stuff, and then people claim to have seen these things like old mate pedo in the lounge room.
Yeah.
a lot of people like say they've seen these things and they don't bleed and they don't have genitalia and all that kind of stuff, and maybe they've evolved this far. I can't remember who came up with the theory, but a really cool theory that I like is that they're not actual life forms at all. They're androids.
Yeah.
Biologically built androids. And they're like, well, how does that work? And I'm like, well, think of it this way. You know how we can create an artificial heart, for example? We grow it with stem cells. We inject it with stem cells from the heart so it knows that this molecular structure needs to evolve into a heart, needs to grow into a heart. You think about that, you can do that with a muscle, like that finger thing where you electrify it and like that, and it just creates a standard muscle that goes on and off, on and off.
Yeah.
That's all we have in us. Everything is just on-off signals. The hard part is trying to make a brain that does that.
Yeah.
Now, perhaps they have an organic brain, perhaps they have a little computer thing that sends little electric charges, and perhaps they're powered by maybe that little Bob Lazar half basketball anti-gravity machine. Maybe that's why they can do all that kind of wacky stuff.
Yep.
But who knows, like maybe these particular aliens or whatever, maybe it's just you and me, but we can't sustain that journey that takes 100 years. We still haven't figured out how to freeze ourselves to do that. So we send these biological androids
They go
to
away
go
for
and
a few
scout
years.
for us. They got their big eyes that are black, which is all pupils, so they can soak up as much light as they need to, and they can render it in a HD thing. Maybe they're transmitting directly back to
Video
their
cameras.
planet. Maybe they're giant fucking video cameras with that move and they're grey because they don't have blood. Perhaps that's the case. Maybe they run on a coolant because that's what our blood is. Our blood is a coolant. It oxygenates, it goes through our body and it cools us. Perhaps they run on a green coolant, which is why their skin looks grey because our body is red, our blood is red, and we look
Radiator
pale.
coolant.
Perhaps they run on actual fucking shell oil and radiator, super cheap coolant. That's why you see them drinking oil when they go in there. 'cause
Exactly.
Go down to your local supermarket, aliens bloody coming here drinking our oil.
Oh, I've seen them at the petrol station.
That's right, filling up.
Filling up.
But like, wouldn't that be amazing? Like, even if they sent their little android robot, biological androids, I still reckon that'd be fucking brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Come over.
come and have a beer, mate. I want to see what happens to you fry your circuits, mate. Love
Have a
that.
punch on
Have
with
a
it.
punch on, just bash its fucking head in. Alien, he's got a big head. Oh, what a fucking idiot.
It'd be good to bash one of them, wouldn't it?
Just bash an alien's head in. Like Walking Phoenix in Signs, where he starts swinging the bat on that motherfucker.
Yep. I think we watched that together,
That's
didn't
right. That's a good movie.
we? Yeah.
That terrified me too, that one bit where the alien's leg is in the cornfield. Oh, can't bear it. Can't stand it. But, I mean, I'd have a beer with one.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not even a blokey bloke. I'd have a fucking beer with an alien. No, I might have a beer with an alien. I'll do it.
We did talk about doing a world record.
We're doing it. Do you want to do one?
What are we doing? How are we doing for
How
time?
many licks of the salt lamp can you do?
None.
None? That's a 0-point world record.
From the bloody opportunity store, that one.
I think we're pretty much towards the end. So
Okay, well, let's save. Let's do a world record attempt. Let's do it seriously. We'll find a good one. Actually, we'll take some input from the listener, the viewer. And if you've got any ideas for world record attempts, either myself or Broden, we'll do it. We'll both do it.
Love to take you up on world record attempt.
Most things eaten by man, or
You love the eating ones.
yeah. The eating ones are like the most achievable, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon it's like most stuff done, most stuff lifted, or most stuff sat on, or
Most drinks. Most drinks.
What
I
about
can drink a lot.
biggest pooiest ass?
Someone in Bendigo actually
Has that record.
go there. Anyway, we better not revisit that.
Well, hey, thank you all for just taking part in this therapy session for myself.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good new, just sort of different time.
And just so we all know, I don't actually, and very, very luckily, and this is not the best I can say for a lot of other people, but very, very fortunate to not actually have any childhood trauma. And if you do, please go and have a chat to someone because that can be drastically, monumentally detrimental to your health mentally. But this stuff literally comes from my imagination, and I'm aware of that. I'm not a fucking psycho, and I'm not projecting any kind of bad things that have happened in my life. So it's very interesting that that these things can still continue to happen to people and they can believe it. But I really think that if you have been abducted by aliens, we'd definitely love to hear your story. We'll try not to take the piss too much, but just know now that I probably don't believe you. With all due respect.
With all respect.
We would love to hear your story, but I really think that there's other ways that we can explain what has happened to you. And also, if you had any kind of trauma in your past, there's probably another reason why you're seeing demons or ghosts or something like that than actually, in fact, seeing them. Sorry to get too heavy on you there, boys. But
That's right, boys.
thank you so much for listening to me talk shit in episode 10.
Thanks for listening to episode 10.
And congratulations. While we're still in quarantine, let's just bump that fist for episode 10.
Oh, I can feel it on me now. My skin got hot.
That's like
Once
10
I
hours, boys.
sat on a bus and my skin touched it and it got hot instantly.
Instant hot bus skin. Filth. Turned
Disgusting.
to leather.
So I just thought I'd leave that one out there. But it's been episode 10. Thanks for hanging in there. It's been 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
And we got
It's
heaps
10
more
hours.
to go.
That's
So
right.
Be a
Thanks for sticking with us for the first 10. I feel like this is going to be my favourite episode so far, so please share our big episode 10 UFO special.
alien special.
Alien special. Bloody space aliens. We love them.
Love
them.
We love them to death. Have a good week, everyone, and stay away from the aliens.